Google's foray into the world of wireless earbuds has been much like its interest into the world of smartphones. Exciting, but flawed. Google released the original Pixel Buds back in late 2017 to mixed reviews, but were able to greatly improve upon the original with the release of the Pixel Buds 2 in 2019. Now these, although being much better, still had its own set of problems, primarily connectivity and battery life issues. Fast forward to 2021 and we have the release of the Pixel Buds A series, Google's version of Pixel Buds that follows the theme of its A line of Pixel phones. Deliver a good product at a budget-friendly price. So with the release of the current version of Pixel Buds, has Google hit the sweet spot? And if so, are they worth picking up? This is Tony's Tech Corner, and this is my review of the Pixel Buds Series A. I've been using the Pixel Buds Series A for a little over 3 weeks now, and I gotta say, I really do enjoy them. Now at first glance, many would compare them to the more pricier AirPods Pro, which I also do own, but these come priced at $99, which is a nice price for what these wireless earbuds have to offer. Right off the bat, we gotta talk about the design. The Pixel Buds A have a very similar compact design to its predecessors with some slight material and aesthetic changes. I do like the very clean and matte appearance that Google has become known for over the past few years. The two buds fit snugly into the ear, so there's no worry about them falling out throughout the day. On the other hand, although the stabilizing tip has been softened in an attempt to make it more comfortable, I do find myself adjusting them throughout the day when my ears become a little bit sore. Now that could just be a me thing, maybe I have weird shaped ears or something, but it is something that I noticed. Let's talk about battery life. Now, the Pixel Buds A series sports very similar battery life as the 2019 version, which comes in at around 5 to 5.5 hours of listening time and 2 to 2.5 hours when making calls. Now, I did find myself getting that roughly, but I also am currently on the Android 12 beta, so my experience may be a little bit different than what everybody else gets. Side note though, Google added this display to let you know the estimated battery life in hours, and this is something that I hope they keep when Android 12 is eventually released. Now, Google removed wireless charging from this year's model, so they are only chargeable via USB-C, but they charge rather quickly with the included cable in the box. Now, the case itself is supposed to give you around 24 hours of listening time, and that's pretty much on par with what we're seeing from things like the AirPods Pro or your basic AirPods. But the nice thing I do like about these is they are able to charge up to 3 hours of listening time in just 15 minutes. Now for me, this is a great improvement because I own the 2019 version of Pixel Buds, and the biggest issue that I had was battery life. I found them draining very, very quickly, and so far my experience with the Pixel Buds A series, that has not been the case. So I am pretty happy with the battery life overall. Next up, we got to talk about how do they sound. Now, I don't proclaim to be any kind of audiophile or anything like that, but I have to say these sound pretty good. These are sporting the same 12mm drivers as the previous model, and they do have some decent bass and separation. Now, there is no automatic noise cancellation like you'd find in the AirPods Pro or the brand new Sony XM3s, and that's kind of a bummer, but they are $150 cheaper. They do, however, have some nice Google features that they added, like adaptive sound, which is supposed to change the volume based on your environment. And they do have passive noise canceling, quote unquote, meaning that they fit very snugly in the ears and they block out some sound around you while still allowing you to hear everything else that's going on around you. Now, while using them, I did notice that they got plenty loud for me myself, but depending on where you're using them, if you're using them in loud environments, that may not be the case for you. Okay, so let's talk about controls. This is the one thing that I really loved about the previous version of Pixel Buds. A lot of the similar controls that you had on the previous model, you'll find here. So you tap once to play/pause, or double tap to go to the next track, triple tap to go to the previous one, so on and so on. But removed from this year's model is the ability to adjust the volume by swiping up or swiping down on either bud. Now, I found this particularly useful in the previous version because it was nice not to have to pull your phone out to adjust the volume, and you could just simply swipe on the buds to do it while they're in your ear. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the features that I missed the most, but it is an A series line product from Google, which means that concessions had to be made and they removed things to get the price down to where it currently is. One of the best features though is the ability to trigger the Google Assistant by tapping and holding. Having the Google Assistant in your ear to ask questions or control devices in your home is probably one of the nicest things about wearing these throughout the day. And remember when I said that they removed the swipe gestures from the actual buds themselves? Well, the nice thing that you can do with having the Google Assistant in your ear is you can just say the keyword and ask Google to adjust the volume for you. Now, in some cases, I did find that the trigger word would not register with my Pixel Buds. Now, I don't know if this is an issue, particularly because I'm on a beta build of Android, or if this needs to be fixed in a firmware update in the future, but hopefully it is fixed at some point and a little bit more consistent getting the Google Assistant to trigger. So our question at the beginning was, has Google hit the sweet spot with the Pixel Buds Series A? Well, they have that great Google aesthetic and design, pretty good battery life, sound pretty good, and have gesture controls that make it very easy to control them throughout the day. So for me, the answer is yes. I think Google has hit the sweet spot with these being priced at $99. So who would I recommend these for? Well, I would recommend them for anyone that bought the previous version of the Pixel Buds and were having any issues like connectivity issues or battery life problems, or if you are in the camp like me that just loves to build out your Google ecosystem and loves the Google aesthetic and their products, then you should probably pick these up. And at $99, these provide a really good Pixel experience without breaking the bank. So that's it. That's my review of the Pixel Buds Series A. What do you think? If you bought them, let me know down in the comments what your experience has been like. Or if you're thinking about picking them up and you have questions, feel free to type those down below in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. But this is it for this video. This has been Tony's Tech Corner, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.